Murder of a pirate in the first degree. Murder. Premeditated homicide is the most serious charge tried in our fairy tale courts. You've heard a long and complicated case, and it is now your duty to try and separate the facts from the fairy tales. One man, Captain James Hooks, is dead. The life of another, Peter Pan, is at stake. If, however, there is reasonable doubt in your minds as to the accused, then Peter Pan will be said not guilty. But however, if there is no reasonable doubt in your minds, then Peter Pan shall be called guilty and will be banished from Netherlands and from flying and from being a lost boy forever. Instead, he'll have to live in the miserable real world of adulthood forever.
Stepmother, Cinderella's presumably.
Don't ever mention her name again.
Big bad wolf. Queen of Hearts. I'm sorry, you can't have that in here.
Why not? I demand an answer.
It's dangerous.
No, it's not. Off with your head.
That's a perfect example.
Move it along. Out of my way, peasants.
The sheriff is out of camp. He'll be serving as the foreman.
I serve no man.
But yes, I am. Are we gonna get anything to eat here?
No, I'm sorry, Goldilocks.
I could really go for some porridge.
You should have packed something.
Ugh.
Ow! Wicked Witch of the East.
Of the West.
I have here East.
I'm from the West.
Okay.
I am Dracula. I am the music of the night.
No, that's Phantom of the Opera.
It is? Shoot, I put it on all my business cards. Are you sure?
Very sure.
Alright, well then. I'm Dracula, a rich man.
That's Fiddler on the Roof. Evil Queen.
Just Queen is fine.
Actually, you're not the only queen here.
What? Who's fair?
I don't know.
You must choose.
I guess you are.
Good answer.
Is Snow White coming?
Why? Do you think she's fair?
No, not at all. Just curious. Oh, what's up? Didn't see you there.
Was that a short joke?
No.
Well, don't let it happen again, or else I'll curse your family for 1,000 years. Unless you can guess my name.
I just said your name. I have it right here. Sit down.
Alright. Stupid internet. Ruined my whole thing.
Dr. Jekyll.
Good day.
And
You'll never catch me. Wah ha ha ha.
thought you made it down your beanstalk in time.
Giant Cyclops.
Do you prefer giant or cyclops?
To me, giant.
Very good. Well, okay, everybody's here. Sure, a lot of villains on this jury. Sucks for Peter Pan. Oh well. If there's anything you want, I'm right outside. Just knock.
Do they really have to lock the door?
Well, we are villains.
That's true.
I prefer antagonists.
It's so hot today. I feel like I'm melting. Have a glass of water.
Me, open window.
Thanks, Muscles. 6 days for talk. Can you believe it? They should have finished them too. Talk, talk, talk. Did you ever hear so much talking? Well, I guess they're entitled. Everybody gets a fair trial. That's the system. Can't say anything against it, right?
How'd you like that business about the fairy dust? Have you ever heard a phonier story?
Well, you gotta expect that. You know who you're dealing with.
Who?
Fairies, griffins, mock turtles, white rabbits. They're all the same.
True.
Alright, everyone, let's take our seats.
Right. This better be quick. I've got a house and toss and blow down a house tonight. Say, I could have enough power in my lungs to blow down a brick house, right?
No.
Are you sure? I mean, I don't think it'll ever come to that, but just in case.
Have you ever blown down a brick house just using your breath? Ever? Of course not. Now sit down. We need to get started. Hey, Doc. How about sitting down?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just doing nothing.
What a thing, that trial. A pirate trying to mind his own business. Well, that's Neverland for you. They let these lost boys run wild. Maybe it serves him right.
Orphans, that's what they are.
Is everybody here?
One of the queens is still in the bathroom.
Sorry, I didn't mean to keep you waiting. It's the humidity. It's making my hair all frizzy.
If your head's bothering you, you could always cut it off.
What's your deal, Hearts? If you have a problem with me, just say it. Don't make jokes about cutting off my head. Just be real with you.
Who said anything about a joke? I'll cut it off. It's what I do.
Alright, everyone, let's just take our seats. We can handle this any way we want. First way is we can handle this like a bunch of peasants in the street. That's one way. Or we can vote right now to see how we stand.
Let's vote now. Who knows? Maybe we could all go home.
Yeah, let's see who's where.
Right, let's vote now.
All right, all those voting guilty, raise your hands. 8, 9, 10. That's 10 for guilty. And Mr. Hyde? Guilty. And Dr. Jekyll? 11 to 1 guilty. Now we know where we are.
So this guy gets 2 votes?
Technically, yes.
And he doesn't agree with himself?
But he's 2 different people.
Okay, that's not confusing at all.
Me confused.
Every person has a dangerous side, an evil within himself that can be influenced. Really, we're many people, sometimes all at once.
Me more confused.
One guy's good and one guy's evil. Get it?
It doesn't really matter. You don't think Peter Pan's guilty?
I don't know.
I never saw a guiltier man in my life. You sat in court and heard the same things I did. Peter Pan's a dangerous killer. You can see it in his eyes and in that dopey leaf hat.
That was a ridiculous outfit.
He's 10 years old.
Even so, if he was my boyfriend, I'd never let him go out like that.
He's your boyfriend?
No. I, have a boyfriend. Anyway, it's not a big deal. It's casual. He's not a baby bear. He's a guy in college.
We can unpack that later.
Let's discuss the case.
Totally.
It doesn't matter how old he is. Peter Pan kills Captain Hook, a perfectly innocent pirate, and then fed his hand to the crocodile right after he cut it off. That's a fact. And then he's terrorizing him with his gang of lost boys. He even turned the natives against him. They proved it in court in a dozen different ways. Do you want me to list them?
I think you just did.
Well, do you believe Peter Pan's story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
Then what's he vote not guilty for?
It's not so easy for me to raise my hand and banish a boy to adulthood without talking about it first.
Who says it's easy for me?
No one.
What? Just because I voted fast. I think the kid's guilty. You couldn't change my mind if we talked for 100 years.
We can if you like. I'm immortal. Once I had a conversation for 200 years. It went on and on and on. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Memory, turn your face to the moonlight.
I don't want to change your mind. I just want to talk for a while. Look, this boy's been kicked around his entire life. You know he doesn't even have a real mother.
It's overrated.
What about Wendy?
She's just a girl.
Hey, watch what you're saying. I'm a girl.
What does that have to do with anything? Off with his head. Anyway, being an orphan's made him a tough, angry kid. I think we owe him a few words. That's all.
Listen, Doc, I don't think we owe him anything. I mean, he got a fair trial, didn't he? We're all villains, and he's a hero. So technically, the jury wasn't really fair. But the trial was. Look, we're all adults here.
I'm not.
And technically, I'm just a wolf.
Me, giant.
You're missing my point. The point is, you can't tell me to trust him knowing what he is. An orphan. I've had to raise him, and let me tell you, you can't trust any of them. Even try by locking him in their room at night and giving him never-ending list of chores, but no, they sneak off to the ball anyways. Oh, look at me, I'm Cinderella, I'm such a klutz, I dropped my glass slipper, whatever will I do? The prince is here to see me, happily ever after, blah, 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 blah. They only dated one night. Can anyone say divorce court?
I would have ordered her heart to be cut out.
I'd have ordered her head to be chopped off.
Yeah, we know. You try and order people around all day long. Does it work? Do they listen?
No.
Never actually.
See?
I think we're a little off topic.
What a terrible thing for a mother to believe.
When Mama said that it was okay, Mama said that it was right, alright. Our kind of people had a bad fun.
Stepmother.
Maybe we try and understand where he's coming from.
Is all.
Now, wait a second. What are you? The guy's lawyer? Look, there's still 11 of us who think he's guilty. You're alone. Sure, you can be stubborn and have this jury hung, but he's just gonna be tried again and found guilty, sure as he can fly.
You're probably right.
What are you gonna do about it? We can't be here all night.
What's wrong with the night? Actually, I would prefer that. If we wait till morning, I might die. So, all night works for me.
Really?
Do you think we went over it yet? What I mean is...
Did anyone force him to come to Neverland? No, they didn't. He could have...
Where? Why do we all have to talk at once?
She's right. I think we ought to get on with it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, let's get back on track. No. No. What do you say? You're the one holding up the show.
I've got a proposition to make. I want you 11 to vote by secret ballot. I'll abstain. If there's still 11 votes for guilty, I'll stand alone. I'll take in a guilty verdict right now.
Okay, let's do it.
Wait, what about Mr. Hyde? You see, it's a fancy trick.
No trick. Mr. Hyde votes however he likes. In fact, I've got nothing to do with it. In fact, I'm voting guilty. What are you, nuts? This is an open and shut case. See? No reason for any secrets with me. Guilty. All right.
Sounds fair enough. Anybody doesn't want to vote? Pass these along.
Pass it back along.
Guilty, 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 guilty. Not guilty. How do you like that?
Who was it? I think we have a right to know.
This was a secret ballot. We did agree on this cause. No? If the person wants it to remain secret...
There are no secrets in here. I know who did it. You vote guilty and the slick doctor starts to tear your heart out about a poor little orphan boy who couldn't help being a happy thought flying sword-wielding pirate terrorist. So you change your vote. You're a sheep in wolf's clothing if that isn't the most...
Hey, now hold it!
Hold it! We're trying to put a guilty man boy into the adult world where he belongs. And suddenly we're paying attention to fairy tales.
Just a minute. Please, I would like to say something here. I have always thought that a person, villain, animal, or even little girls were entitled to have unpopular opinions in this land. That is why I came here, out of my cave. Back in Germany, I am ashamed to say...
What do we have to listen to now? The whole history of your country?
Yeah, let's stick to the subject. Let me ask you, what made you change your vote?
He didn't change his vote. I did. Maybe you'd like to know why. This doctor chose to stand alone against us. That's his right. It takes a great deal of courage to stand alone, even if you believe in something very strongly. Also, I'm a wild card. Most people think I'm drab and predictable. But I'm kind of wild. Like, I eat cereal for dinner. What? For dinner?
Oh, please shut up. No one thinks about you that much.
Look, Wolf, I got a little excited about the sheep stuff. Nothing personal.
Well, if Peter Pan didn't kill Captain Hook, then who did?
As far as I know, we're supposed to be deciding whether the boy on trial is guilty. We're not concerned with anyone else's motives here.
Guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. This is an important thing to remember.
Everybody's a blood-sucking lawyer.
I take offense to that. Not the lawyer part. I hate lawyers.
Supposing you explain what your reasonable doubts are?
So far, it's only a feeling I have. A feeling. Perhaps you're not familiar with those.
I don't see any need for arguing like this. If we're going to discuss the case, let's discuss the facts.
She's got a point. We have a job to do. Let's do it. Unlike peasants, they don't do their jobs, pay enough taxes to me.
If you folks don't mind, I'm going to close the window. Sorry, it was pulling on my neck.
Me, neck hot, up here.
Was that a short joke? Because it wasn't very...
Don't listen to him. It's a very nice neck.
Now, I'm just thinking out loud here, but it seems to me like it's up to us to convince this two-faced doctor that we're right and he's wrong. Maybe if we all try it on for size, you know?
That sounds fair enough. Supposing we go once around the table.
Okay, let's start it off.
Hi, I vote guilty. Giant?
Me think boy guilty. Me see that even with one eye. Little boys always make me mad. I'm up stock, feel hard, me fall, me sad. Little boys not guilty, prove it.
Nobody has to prove otherwise. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. The defendant doesn't have to open his mouth. That's in the fairy tale constitution, the Fifth Amendment. You may have never seen it, but maybe you've heard of it?
Sure, me heard it. Me meant boy guilty.
Okay, let's just get to the facts. Fact number 1. The Peter Pan boy chopped off Captain James Hook's hand. Fact number 2. He fed it to the crocodile. I mean, you chopped his hand off, fine, understandable. Sometimes you just have to let a stir fall fire, you know what I mean? We're all villains here. But feeding it to the crocodile, is that a little too much? A little overboard? No pun intended. And now, of course, this crocodile has a thirst for Captain Hook, so of course he eats it when he falls off the plane.
Okay. Peter Pan's entire story is flimsy. He claimed he knew the crocodile would develop a hunger for Captain Hook. I mean, that's a little ridiculous, isn't it? We all know what crocodiles are like. They're not that different than bears, really, except they have tails and long scales.
They're reptiles. They're completely different.
They're both scary.
What about wolves? I suppose you think wolves are scary too?
Yeah, I do.
Well, you're an animalist.
Well, that's not a thing.
How do we know that
Peter Pan was the one that fed the hand to the crocodile in the first place. He could have decided to eat it all on his own.
There was a clock. The crocodile ate a clock. Why would he do that?
Who knows? Crocodiles eat all sorts of things.
So you're saying it didn't matter if he fed the hand to the crocodile or not? He could have eaten it all on his own?
He was fed the hand. We all know that.
Let's stop the arguing. It's your turn.
I don't know. I started to be convinced, with that testimony from those lost boys. Didn't they say something about an argument between Hook and the boy? I mean, I can't be wrong.
That's right. They saw Captain Hook challenge the boy and Peter walk angrily away. What does that prove? We should watch it again.
All you have to do is hit play.
Movie, good.
So what's it gonna be, Pan? A life of pirate servitude? No life at all.
Say your prayers, Hook. This time, you've gone too far.
What are you gonna do now, Pan? Fly away, fly, fly, you coward.
I'm no coward. I'll fight you on deck with one hand tied behind my back.
You wouldn't fight old and Hook man to man, you'd fly away like a cowardly sparrow.
No one calls Pan a coward and lives. I'll fight you man to man with one hand behind my back.
Good, then let's have at it. Now, insolent youth, prepare to die. I'll cleave you to the brisket. You wouldn't duel with Hook in now, would you? I'll go away forever. I'll do anything you say.
Well, alright, if you say you're a codfish.
I'm a codfish.
Louder.
I'm a codfish.
Alright, Hook, you're free to go and never return. Peter!
Shiver me timbers!
I'm dying! I'm dying!
Well, it doesn't exactly prove anything. It's just part of the picture. I didn't say it proved anything.
Anything else?
No.
Right, it's your turn.
I don't know. Most of it's been said already, but I think we're wasting our time. I mean, look at the kid's record. At 5, he was in an orphanage. He's been arrested for reckless flying. Wife. He's gotten picked up for knife fighting. I think they said he stabbed somebody in a food fight. I mean, who brings a sword to a food fight?
Ever since he was 5 years old, Peter Pan has been challenged to duels.
I mean, so would I. These kids. I've got a kid. When she was 8 years old, she became very beautiful. I saw her all the time, and every day she seemed to get more and more beautiful. I told her right up, "You're not that pretty." And when she turned 15, I asked my mirror. It's a magic mirror, so it can talk and stuff. I asked my mirror, who's the fairest of the land, and it said her. Can you believe this? Rotten kid. I heard she's living with some mining folk. Serves her right. Alright, let's get on with it.
We're missing the point here. This boy, let's say he's a product of a jungle, dark forest, a broken home, fell down a rabbit hole, whatever. We're not here to go into reasons why forests are breeding grounds for criminals. They are. I know it. So do you. These children who come out of these backgrounds are potential menaces to society.
I've lived in a forest all my life.
Oh, now wait a second.
I used to live in a forest that was filled with trees. Maybe it still smells on me.
Now let's be reasonable. There's nothing personal.
There is something personal.
Come on now. He didn't mean you, fella. Let's not be so sensitive.
I can understand his sensitivity, being that I myself lived in...
Okay, yeah, boo-hoo. Let's get on with it.
Alright, I had a peculiar feeling about this trial. Somehow I felt the defense counsel never really conducted a thorough cross-examination. I mean, he was appointed by the court to defend the boy. He hardly seemed interested. Too many questions were left unasked.
Well, what about the ones that were asked? For instance, let's talk about the Lost Boys, Mr. Smee, Bundy, and the Darlings. He turned to everyone in Neverland against Mr. Hook. Even the mermaids. The mermaids.
Me like mermaids, me like all fish, me like swim like fish, but me don't know how. Me sink, me suck.
Why don't you keep your thoughts to yourself?
We've all got a right to speak.
It's nonsense talk.
Who are you to say?
Peter said the Darling children followed him to Neverland. They're the ones who thought good thoughts, not Peter.
Well, Peter Pan told them to. He kidnapped them and you know it. He wanted them to be a part of his lawless tribe.
He may have lied. Do you think he lied?
Now that's a stupid question. Sure, he lied.
Do you?
You don't have to ask him that. You know my answer. He lied.
Do you think he lied?
I've kidnapped my fair share of children, going to their grandmother's houses, and I don't know if that was a kidnapping or not. I just don't know. No one blames you for kidnapping children. We've all done it. We are not on trial here. Pan is. Maybe we should just try another vote. Mr. Foreman?
Sounds fair to me. Anybody doesn't want to vote? Alright. I vote guilty. Giant?
Not guilty.
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 Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
And Mr. Hyde?
Guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
6-6. I'll tell you something. The crime is being committed right in this room.
I'm ready to walk into court and declare a hung jury. There is no point in this going on anymore.
I go for that too. Let's let the kid take his chances with 12 other villains.
You mean you still don't think there's room for reasonable doubt?
No, I don't.
Excuse me, I don't think you understand the term reasonable doubt.
What do you mean I don't understand it? How do you like this guy? He comes over here scurrying from Germany or under a bridge or wherever he lives. And before he can even take a big breath, he's telling us how to run the show. The arrogance of him.
Wait a second. Nobody around here is asking where you came from.
I was born in a castle. I'm the fairest of the land.
Are you sure about that? Snow White. Maybe it wouldn't hurt us to take a few tips from people who come running here. Maybe they learn something we don't know. We're not so perfect.
I did not live under a bridge. I am not a troll. I lived in a
Cave!
Thank you very much.
It's not all right.
Okay, I apologize. Is that what you want?
That's what I want.
Alright, let's stop the arguing. Who's got something constructive to say?
Well, something's been bothering me a little. This whole business about Tinkerbell and Peter, it just seems like, I don't know.
I just love gossip.
Do not tell me we're going to start that. They went over it and over it in court.
I know they did, but I don't trust him. While we're at it, where does Wendy fit in? She seems obsessed with Peter in only a way that I require love to be.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. I really don't want to do this.
Why?
Because Peter means everything to me. I'll always believe in you, Peter. You're my second star on the right, my biggest adventure, the one I'd fly 1,000 miles for. Making my way through this, walking fast, faces, paths, and heartsick. Staring blankly ahead, making my way through this testimony. And I need you, and I miss you, and now I wonder if I could fall into the sky. Do you think time would pass me by? 'Cause you know I'd fly 1,000 miles if I could just see you tonight.
Order. Remember, Miss Darling, you are under oath.
Well, if isn't that the most gag-worthy demonstration of someone who has no idea how to get her man?
Love makes us sick, haunts our dreams, destroys our days. Love has killed more than any disease.
What a beautiful child. So young, so alive, so unprecarious of how life can be. I had a sad childhood. I'll tell you about it sometime. I never knew my parents. It's amazing I'm sane.
Look, what about Tinkerbell? If her testimony doesn't prove it, then nothing does.
She saw the killing, didn't she?
Watch now.
What is your relationship with the accused?
Peter and I, well, let's just say it's complicated.
Can you elaborate?
Well, if I have to be honest, Peter changed when that Wendy girl came into the picture. It was like he was a completely different person. The Peter before would have never done anything to hurt anyone. Then all of a sudden he feels the need to go protect Wendy and he gets in a fight with Hook. I told the two of them to get some help. Talk to someone. Anyone. Me even. But no, I had to go solve the problem like uncivilized Neanderthals. I tried to stop Peter as he and Hook were fighting on the plank, but I was too late.
Is there anything you'd like to wish to say to the accused?
Well, good for you. I guess you moved on really easily. You found a new girl and it only took a couple weeks. Remember when you said that you wanted to give me the world? And good for you. I guess it's you've been working on yourself. I guess that therapist I found for you, she really helped. Now you can be a better man for your brand new girl.
enough of this. Aren't you convinced yet?
Just a minute. Wendy's just a human who got caught up in all of Pan's charms. She is not the one on trial here. But Tink, here's a fairy. She's lived in Neverland her whole life, so she's there when he duels Captain Hook. She's right there by Peter Pan's side. She sees him force Hook right off the plank. She swore she saw him do it. She's an eyewitness to him directly killing Captain Hook, one of the greatest pirates ever known, and Tinkerbell has been a witness to it all.
It's hard to know what a fairy sees through all that dust.
Okay, and they proved it in court that you can look through a cloud of fairy dust and see what's going on the other side. They proved it.
You're sure Peter's just not another person with a head you'd like to chop off?
You're a pretty small fellow, aren't you? How about I chop your head off? Now take it easy.
Come on, sit down. What are you letting this time give you all upset for? Relax. My problem with Tinkerbell is that I question her motives. She seems obsessed with Peter. We all know that.
Then why would she testify against him?
Because he doesn't love her back. He spends all of his time admiring Wendy and not Tinkerbell, and she's right there in front of him because all he wants is Wendy, and he can't see that. All he wants is Wendy, so of course, Tinkerbell testifies against him. She can't be around him in Neverland anymore, and a guilty verdict would banish Peter from Neverland into the real world and possibly into the arms of Wendy, who lives there. It's a win for everyone, except for Captain Hook. I agree, he's a victim, but not by the hands of Peter Pan. He's just a boy who's too blind to see true love.
Me confused. Is this about you or Peter Pan?
It's about you, you giant dummy!
Me?
Yes, you! Can't you see I've been in love with you this whole time? The entire trial!
You don't see too good with one eye, but now me to see you.
I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control, 'cause the power you're supplying is electrifying.
Better shape up, 'cause I need a man, and my heart is set on you. Better shape up, better understand. To my heart I must be true, nothing left for me. What I want, you are what I want.
This is an important trial. Have some respect.
Sorry. Fairies and lost boys and mermaids, they're all lost. They should all be on trial. These Neverland folks, human life doesn't mean as much to them as it does to us. Look, these boys are sword fighting and making houses and trees, and they don't care if they kill a pirate in the process. They don't care. Oh, sure, there are some good things about orphans. Look, I'm for say that. Look, I've known a few decent orphans, but that's about it. Most of them, it's like they can do anything. It's like they have no feelings. What is going on here? Look, I'm speaking my piece, and you listen to me. Not one of these kids on trial are any good. Listen to me. Not one of them. Look, where's everyone going? I'm trying to tell you something.
You quiet now. Me, giant orphan.
I'm only trying to tell you.
Does anyone still think there's not a reasonable doubt?
I think he's guilty.
Does anyone else?
No, I'm convinced.
You're alone.
I don't care whether I'm alone or not. I have a right.
You do have a right.
Well, I told you the kid's guilty. What else do you want?
Your arguments.
I already gave you my arguments.
We're waiting to hear them. We have time.
Look, you're the one who said off with this kid's head. A killer man boy's gonna be flying the sky. Stay with me.
When I say off with someone's head, I don't really mean it. I just say it to scare people. I thought you knew that.
We're waiting.
Well, you're not gonna intimidate me. It's gonna be a hung jury, that's it. I'm entitled to my opinion.
There's nothing we can do about that, except that hope that some night, maybe in a few months, you'll get some sleep.
You're all alone. Well, I admit it. I hate orphans. I've been a villain since the day I was born. It has nothing to do with Cinderella. I mean, Peter Pan. I mean...
always be villains, won't we? Not today. Not today!
I am Dracula. I am the music of the night.